Good morning, everyone. It is officially the middle of August, which means that I am prepping my raised garden beds for fall harvest. They don't look like much right now. It was a really crummy summer for us. I had seeds that I started that got eaten by like a mouse. I had seeds that I started that just never took off because of the cold spring that we had. Tried sowing stuff outside and gotten eaten by slugs or just wasn't warm enough. So I'm finally cleaning out my raised garden beds and prepping for fall. Part of that includes putting down some copper tape for slugs, which I've had a problem with like the entire time I've had my garden here in the Pacific Northwest. And I'm adding some compost and some more soil to my beds, and then cleaning up some of the stuff, harvesting some seeds, and then I'm going to be planting some new seeds for fall as well. So I was just enjoying this morning, but I thought that I might record this and you guys can see what some of my maintenance work looks like with my raised garden beds. One of the big projects I've been working on is laying down some drip irrigation for my raised beds. I'm terrible at remembering to water as often as I should. Sometimes we don't need it every day if it's been raining. In this dry spot part of the summer, we really probably do need it almost every day, especially for raised beds, which dry out really quickly. But we had a problem with our hose bib at the house. It froze last winter. We didn't determine or discover that until after we already needed to start watering. So it took us some time to replace that. Phil actually fixed it. He replaced that hose bib. And it was great to finally get all that routed. So I finally have water at my raised beds again, and so I'm running this drip line. I'm not 100% sure if will do like all of the watering that I need to do, especially when it's really hot and dry, but I feel like I'm going to experiment with it to see if I have the beds properly wetted down, that maybe the drip will help extend that time in between deep watering. So I'm curious to see if you guys use drip, what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments below if what your advice would be for me, and I look forward to hearing those comments. I've also had a really big problem with pill bugs or roly-polies. You can see one there. They've gotten into like my squash flowers and kind of ruined some of my fruit that I've had on like my cucumbers and squash and stuff. So I'm going to put down some diatomaceous earth and hope that that helps with those guys there. This is the copper tape that I got. It's a 1-inch copper tape. It's got a adhesive backing just like regular tape. And then I put this down all the way around the edges of my raised beds. I'm not 100% sure if slugs can come up like through the dirt. So I'm not sure if it'll completely solve my slug problem, but I'm gonna give it a shot. It can't hurt, right? So I'll let you know how this helps. All right, here's some of the seeds that I'm gonna start. Just quickly mention, I've got a couple of fall flowers that I'm gonna try out, a calendula, a viola, and I'm seeding some poppies for early spring blooms. Then I've got my carrots, my root vegetables. So I've got a couple of different variety of carrots here. I seeded carrots last winter and just harvested them early spring this year. So I know these varieties are going to work. I'm really excited to do that again. I haven't tried these parsnips, but I'm excited about that, and some beets. This is a little earlier than I seeded last year, so I may be lucky enough to actually have a fall harvest. Like some of these, like the parsnips, 110 days, which it's middle of August now, should put us to harvesting September, October, November, so roughly before the first frost. So I might have to cover these, but should be able to get a harvest in before winter. So I might do some successive seedings to let them overwinter and harvest early next spring. Then I've got some of my, I think these are all mostly brassicas, except for the celery. I'm gonna try the celery. I haven't read anywhere that this is a fall crop, but cilantro I've heard is, so I'm gonna try the celery. Then I've got some kale, cauliflower, broccoli, another type of broccoli, and Brussels sprouts. I've had really terrible luck with the brassicas here. I had really good luck when I was down in Southern California with broccoli and cauliflower. Not so much here. So I'm gonna give these a shot again. They're supposed to be a good fall harvest. The Territorial Seed Company one, supposed to be 65 days. So I feel like I might actually get a fall harvest out of this one if my timing's right. So we'll see there. Then I've got my leafy vegetables here. Swiss chard, which does phenomenally out here. I actually just pulled up a bunch that had bolted and obviously collected those seeds. I've got a romaine here, a Rainier, and then a winter density. So I tried planting this in my greenhouse last year, but didn't quite work out. I think it was too cold and dark at that time, but I'm excited to give those a shot. I might wait to seed these until maybe September. You see 54 days. September, October, I should be able to get some good winter harvest out of this. This Rainier version is a little bit longer, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that one. Then I'm gonna give some baby bok choy a try. I've also got some spinaches here. This spinach is 45 days. And then I'm gonna give some sugar snap peas another try. Supposed to be able to get a fall harvest in for those, so hopefully it's not too hot still. And then I'm gonna give an experimental shot for all of my onions a try. I've been following this YouTuber called Little Roots Ranch. I'll leave a link down below, or at least I'm not sure if I can link, but I will show you guys her channel. She mentioned going ahead and starting bunches of onion seeds now, and getting sets ready so that those can be planted a little bit later on, to have a harvest next summer. So I'm gonna give her method a try. You guys go check out her channel and see what she's recommending, and that's what I'm gonna be following as well. So I want to explain a little bit of the madness with the drip irrigation system. See, I got that bed laid out, that bed laid out. In fact, I've got all of the drip lines in each one of the beds. What happens is that if I were to just split here and daisy chain to each bed, by the time the water gets to the back bed, there's almost no pressure. It's a lot of lengths to go through this really narrow tubing. And then what happens is that, you know, the water has a higher pressure at the first outlet. And so this bed would get a lot of water. And then there'd be less water for the second bed, and then even less water for the third bed. I'm a mechanical engineer, and so the way that I know how to combat this is that using what we would call a static regain method. And so what that means is that I want roughly the same amount of pressure drop at each garden bed as we go back. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually have a main here, and then split off. And then from that split, I want the amount of length of tubing to each bed to be roughly the same. It's not going to be exact because I don't have necessarily a three-way splitter, so I can't split 3 ways and then have the exact same amount of tubing to each bed. So I'm just going to have to approximate that the best way that I can. So I think that worked pretty well. I think the back beds might have a little bit, maybe a little bit more flow than the others, but maybe not much. So I think that worked pretty well. I got all my brassicas planted. You can see I got broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels, kale, and my baby choy here. I went about 1 foot spacing on everything except for the baby choy, which is about 4 plants per square foot. So I think I got about 12 in there. So pretty happy with this. Amended this soil a little bit. As you could see, like the ground, it was just really compacted and really sandy. So I'm hoping this will help. And over time, I'll probably apply some more no-till practices to this, putting down mulch and compost and just kind of getting the soil a little bit more aerated. Well, that's it, guys, for today. I hope that you guys found this video helpful, or at least enjoyed watching it. If you guys have any comments, tips, questions, please leave those down below. Otherwise, please like this video or subscribe to our channel. Always looking for feedback, and that really helps us to know what kind of content we should be putting out. Otherwise, thanks, and hope you have a great day.